Generosity. Generosity is one of the most beautiful qualities a person can develop. It is the willingness to give freely, whether time, money, kindness, attention, encouragement, or help, without expecting anything in return. In a world where many people are focused on gaining more for themselves, generosity stands out as a powerful expression of love, compassion, and strong character. Generosity is not limited to wealthy people or large donations. In fact, some of the most meaningful acts of generosity cost nothing at all. A smile to someone who feels invisible, a listening ear for a hurting friend, a kind word during a difficult moment, or helping someone carry a burden can all be acts of true generosity. It is less about how much is given and more about the heart behind the giving. What is generosity? Generosity is the habit of giving with a willing and cheerful heart. It means being open-handed rather than selfish, thoughtful rather than indifferent, and compassionate rather than cold. A generous person sees the needs of others and responds with kindness and action. Generosity can take many forms. Giving financial support to those in need. Sharing food, clothing, or resources. Offering your time to help others. Encouraging someone with uplifting words. Forgiving others instead of holding grudges. Sharing knowledge, skills, or opportunities. True generosity is not done to impress people or gain recognition. It flows from sincerity and a desire to make life better for someone else. Why generosity matters? Generosity matters because it strengthens relationships, builds communities, and reflects the best of humanity. When people give freely, they create an environment of trust, care, and unity. A generous spirit helps to reduce selfishness, bring hope to those who are struggling, build stronger friendships and families, create a culture of compassion, inspire others to give as well. One act of generosity can start a chain reaction. When someone experiences kindness, they are often motivated to show kindness to someone else. In this way, generosity spreads far beyond the original act. Generosity is more than money. Many people think generosity is mainly about giving money, but generosity is much broader than that. Some people may not have much financially, yet they are incredibly generous in other ways. For example, a parent who sacrifices sleep to care for a child. A student who helps a classmate understand a lesson. A neighbor who checks in on an elderly person. A friend who stays beside someone during a hard season. A volunteer who gives time to serve others. These are all powerful forms of generosity. Sometimes the most valuable gift is simply being present for someone. The heart behind generosity. The true value of generosity is found in the attitude behind it. Giving can be done reluctantly, out of pressure, or for attention, but that is not the highest form of generosity. Genuine generosity comes from love, gratitude, and humility. A generous heart is compassionate, unselfish, willing, joyful, sensitive to the needs of others. When generosity comes from the heart, it blesses both the giver and the receiver. The person receiving help feels supported, and the giver experiences the joy of making a positive difference. Benefits of being generous. Generosity is not only good for others, it also transforms the person who practices it. A generous lifestyle shapes the heart and mind in healthy ways. 1. It brings joy. There is a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from helping others. Giving often brings more lasting happiness than receiving. 2. It builds character. Generosity develops humility, empathy, patience, and kindness. It trains a person to think beyond their own needs. 3. It strengthens relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who are caring and helpful. Generosity creates trust and deepens bonds. 4. It reduces greed. A generous life helps break the grip of selfishness and materialism. It reminds us that our possessions and abilities can be used for a greater purpose. 5. It creates lasting impact. A single generous act can change someone's day, ease someone's pain, or even alter the course of a life. Obstacles to generosity. Although generosity is admirable, it is not always easy. Several things can hold people back from giving. Fear of not having enough. Some people hesitate to give because they worry they will not have enough left for themselves. While wisdom is important, fear can prevent meaningful generosity. Selfishness. A focus on personal comfort and gain can make it hard to notice or care about the needs of others. Desire for recognition. If giving is motivated by praise or status, it loses much of its sincerity. Indifference. Sometimes people are simply too distracted or disconnected to notice opportunities to help. Overcoming these obstacles requires intentionality and a heart that values people over possessions. How to practice generosity daily. Generosity becomes powerful when it becomes a habit, not just an occasional action. Anyone can grow in generosity by making small choices each day. Here are practical ways to practice it. Set aside part of your income to help others. Donate items you no longer need. Offer to help someone without being asked. Encourage people with sincere words. Volunteer in your community or place of worship. Share your skills with someone who can benefit. Be patient and understanding with others. Give your full attention when someone needs to talk. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment or a large amount of resources. Start with what you have, where you are. Generosity in difficult times. It is easy to think generosity should wait until life becomes easier, but often the most meaningful generosity happens during difficult seasons. Even when resources are limited, kindness, compassion, prayer, service, and encouragement can still be given. In challenging times, generosity becomes a statement of faith, hope, and resilience. It says, even in hardship, I choose to care. This kind of giving has a powerful impact because it comes at a cost and reveals true depth of character. Generosity as a way of life. Generosity should not be seen as a one-time act but as a way of living. A generous person looks for opportunities to bless others regularly. They become known not just for what they have, but for how they share. Living generously means being aware of the needs around you. Being willing to sacrifice comfort for someone else's good. Using your resources with purpose. Giving without always expecting repayment. Choosing compassion over convenience. When generosity becomes part of your identity, it changes how you view your time, money, relationships, and responsibilities. Conclusion. Generosity is a powerful expression of kindness, love, and maturity. It is not reserved for the rich or the famous. It is available to everyone. Whether through money, time, service, encouragement, or compassion, every person has something valuable to give. A generous life is a meaningful life. It lifts others, strengthens communities, and brings joy to the giver. In a world that often encourages selfishness, generosity shines as a reminder that true greatness is found not in what we keep, but in what we willingly share.